attendance. All right. Okay, good. Right, so get your devices ready, phones, tablets, and things. All right, I'm gonna show you the QR code for today's session. Let me share my screen. Right, so this is Monday, 10th of January 2022, L1. Okay, I'm sharing my screen right now. All right, QR code coming in 3, 2, 1, L1. Okay, go. All right, 1 more minute of scanning your QR code. Right, QR code ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much. All right, done sharing the QR code. All right, so without further ado, we're going to continue with the presentation for chapter 11. So this week we'll be having one IME idea and also Abdul Hafiz from T1 and Atira Hazika and also Nashwa from T2. All right, so one IME idea and Hafiz, get ready. I'm going to play yours first. Okay, so I'll be sharing my tab. And this one or this one? This one, all right. I'll be sharing my tab. Where's the sharing part? All right, here. Okay. This one or this one? All right, this one. All right, as usual, sound check first.
And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul.
All right, is it okay?
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Yes, sir.
I'll be playing it again. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Hafiz bin Muhammad Nafi. So today I'm going to talk about the styles of loving. The styles of love. I'm going to talk about the secondary styles, which is agape. The agape style combines eros and storge love style. This love style usually put another's happiness ahead of their own without having any expectation. I personally think that this kind of people or person who has these types of loving always get hurt the most. It is because they tend to keep their feelings or emotion to themselves. It is because they believe that their partner's happiness or the other person happiness is far more important than their feelings. And I personally think that it is not a good style. It's not a great style. It might be good for some reason, but I personally believe that it is not a good style, because if you are in a relationship, both of you have to give equal effort. You cannot just simply give anything without any expectation, because if you if you give everything and you get nothing, I personally think that it is not a relationship. It is more like a charity. I mean, like, why would you give everything to a person who don't even appreciate or care about you? So I believe that in certain situation, you have to stop giving everything. You have to stop doing everything, especially if your partner doesn't do the same. Okay, because you can do it over and over again, but you will eventually feel tired and you will feel exhausted. So I think that uh it's not a healthy relationship if you are in that kind of relationship. And I believe that it is actually a toxic relationship. So you have to be more considerate, because sometimes your feelings matter the most. I guess that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Wan Aimi Adia binti Wan Ramizu Azhan. My matric number is L208044. And today I'm going to be talking about social media and committed relationship benefits. First, it provides opportunities to meet potential partner on social media, especially on platforms like Tinder, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. Especially in this pandemic era where we have to limit our hanging out session and stuff. Hence, people has a lot of free time surfing the internet, mainly to find love of their life online. And I have witnessed a lot of my friends when meeting their partner for the first time as soon as lockdown ended. And surprisingly, most of them are still together right now despite the distance between them. For me myself, living in the place I'm living right now doesn't give me much choice of men to pick from. Hence, I prefer finding guys from the internet, so I would have wider choices to choose from. And disclaimer, I am not that picky. However, it is also not wrong to have different preferences from others. Second benefit is that it helps long distance partners to stay in touch with each other. And I got to admit that social media helps a lot in keeping people in touch whenever and wherever they are in this world. And for an overthinker like me, I needed to always keep in touch with the people I care, especially my family, my best friends, whenever we are far apart, especially if I am in campus. That is all from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Wan, Ami, Nadia, and also Hafiz. Question for Hafiz and Ami, Nadia, Ami, Adia, everyone. Question?
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I have a question for Aimi Adia. Um, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I missed that.
So Idea, since nowadays we have various social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and even dating applications. My question is, what do you think and what is your opinion about how these social media platforms helps people to find and get to know their partners better? Although we have phone callings and texting. So, yeah, that's my question.
Thank you, Melissa. Because in my opinion, social media offers us quick and in-depth
in-depth profiles of people that we would like to learn more about. We would be able to learn about someone's background, religion, education, and so on with only one click. It helps us find the ones that fit our criteria of a dream partner compared to phone calls and normal text messages. That's all.
Alright, Amy idea, you got me pain over here when you said that where you come from, there's not much choice available. And where is actually that?
Besut.
So, okay, alright. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Amy, and also Melissa. Alright, next question for Hafiz.
I have a question.
Alright, hi Angel. Question from Angel. Hafiz is here, right? Hafiz?
Yes, I can.
Alright, Hafiz is here. Okay.
Is it worth it to commit in a toxic relationship, though you love your partner? Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Most of the cases, it is not worth it to stay in a toxic relationship. However, if that person or your partner know their mistake and they try to change themselves, I personally think that you might want to give a chance, because everyone deserves a second chance, right? So yeah, but most of the time it is not worth it.
I agree. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Angel and Hafiz. And yes, I do agree with Hafiz that if you are involved in a toxic relationship and you still have time, meaning that you are not married yet, you don't have kids and things like that, it's better for you to just withdraw from that particular relationship, because love doesn't fit you. I mean, love doesn't actually give you care and also safety. So whatever it is, all right, what's more important, if you are still not committed in terms of having kids and things like that, just withdraw yourself from any form of toxic relationship. All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to the next presentation, which is from I forgot the name, Nashwa and also Atira Hazika. All right, Atira Hazika. And also Nashwa, I'll be sharing my tab. All right. Okay, assuming that the video is clear.
Hi, Assalamualaikum sir and everyone. Today I would like to share with you guys my reflection on my understanding about the topic, which is committed romantic relationship. I know all of you guys must have your own experience in any relationship. And of course, when you love a person, you will naturally experience emotional stimulation towards that person. You will be thinking about the person and also can shape the ideas about what you expect to be in the relationship. This actually called love because love is a complex and strong energy that shows itself in a variety of emotional, cognitive, and social expression. However, we utilize love in a variety of contexts, such as styles of loving. Okay, first, I will go through with the primary styles. There are three elements, which are Eros, Storge, and Ludus. Okay, from these three elements, the style of loving that I really prefer is Storge. It is because this style is more likely to be steady and dedicated in their relationships. Typically, this love style is the relationship between parents and their children, or maybe from your childhood friends. It can be simply be said that you share your love to the person you are close with, and this style is seen from the value of closeness and trust. However, I don't prefer Eros and Ludus. It is because these two elements will have a bad relationship. Okay, for Eros can be described as someone who is typically viewed as a romantic and fairy tale type relationship. Basically, this style will look at someone's physical beauty first and automatically make it easier to fall in love. For example, I have one friend that has a crush on 5 guys at the same time. Like how she can fall in love with many guys. It is really impressive. Meanwhile, for Ludos is incredibly filthy and enjoyable. It also views love as a game. If their partner is a Ludo style, they always play with each other's heart, but they never make the relationship official. From my perspective, this kind of person has never been serious. They rather play around and come back and forth. For me, it is kind of a toxic and tiring relationship. Okay, now we move to the secondary styles of loving. There are also 3 elements, which are pragma, mania, and agape. Of these 3, I would rather choose agape as the best one. It is a combination of eros and storge love style. Someone with this love style is typically a caring person and is concerned with their partner's needs. You know what? The best thing is, if you have an agape partner, he or she will love you just the way you are. You are lucky if you have one, but maybe it will be better if you be the one agape person in the relationship. However, for pragma style, I think I will consider with this style because some people will have their own green criteria before engaging in the relationship. In order to have a right relationship, they usually will decide whether that person suits their needs or not. For me, it is good to have your own criteria before you meet someone, but we all know love is a gamble and it is always free. So you better be confident with your own choice and do not put your hopes too high. So when it comes to the level, mania is the worst. It is because it refers to someone who is obsessed with love. Actually, I have a story about someone who is in this love style. This is from what my friends experienced. Because of her boyfriend obsession, jealousy will be an issue in their relationship. She told me that if she does not reach out to him in just a few hours, her boyfriend will think that she is seeing someone else. Jealousy issues may sometimes be a sign of a bad relationship if your partner is not an open-minded person. Okay, now we already know what is the style of loving. I hope you guys will be able to describe and analyze which style you are. Alright, that's all from me. So the next part will be continue with my partner, Nashwa. She will describe each level of development in a romantic relationship.
Hi,
Alright, I think it's the Azan calling, so we're gonna stop for a while for the Azan to finish, okay? Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. So let's continue with Nashwa. 3, 2, 1, play.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Thank you so much Atira for a very wonderful story and advice. So I'll continue this reflection video regarding development of romantic relationship. There are three big elements under here, which is growth, navigation and deterioration. So we know that the growth part is an early journey of relationship, and this part is where people start to know each other inside out. Invitational communication will be used to know each other more deeper, especially about self-concept, and maybe there is any sign of environmental spoiling will be detected here. At this level, people will start to realize a problem that will appear once they get into relationship. For example, you might like the personality so bad, they're such a perfect person for you, a very perfect creature. But maybe just because they love DC instead of Marvel and says that Spider-Man No Way Home is not worth to cry for, all the personality and beautiful face will turn into dust. Trust me. I found that growth part is really interesting and important for us to focus on so that we could choose what kind of people that are the best for us to get into our life. Next is navigation, where I could say this is the hardest part in the relationship, where both sides need to maintain a spark of romance all the time. We all know that relationships are like a game. If both players keep using the same strategy, a game would be so lame and boring. Therefore, a new strategy is needed to spice up a relationship. For example, for a male part, you could just asking about her day. Like, are you good? What are you going to do today? You look so beautiful. All of this will make her day so bad. While for the female part, maybe we should start to learn on how to be more creative in expressing our thought and feeling, such as being more assertive in making decisions, especially about where we're going to eat and what we're going to eat today. That's basic. And maybe we should start to learn on speak based on our mind instead of our ego. If you are mad, you shouldn't say that you're good or happy. Instead, you should say, I'm tired, I'm mad, I need a space. Your partner will be so happy and the relationship will be more adventurous, new and unpredictable. And all the changes and small action is actually a very greatest gift to your own partner. And now we come to the deterioration. To be honest, out all of the level, this is the one that all people should try more hard to avoid it. In this part is where we can see whether the relationship is successful or not. If the relationship brings frustration and look unmoved to keep going, then bring and accepting that the relationship has to come to the end is the best choice. Both parties should move on to a new phase of life without any regret and stay believe that this is the best choice for both mental health. It is fine for the relationship to come to the end. People come and go. The real one that stays with you forever is your own self. Take care of yourself first and you will understand why the relationship is not working for both of you. Take how much time you want to do, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year or even 10 years. People around you will always speak, but only you know the struggle. So just keep going and follow the flow. Moving on is not that easy. It is sad that all of the dreams that have been created by two people suddenly be shattered, but one day you will understand that there were never a mistake, they were just a phase. So before I end our session, I would like to share my mom's thought with all of you here. She said that some people may think relationship might be bound by love, romance and money, but the real relationship is bound by responsibility, communication and trust. Without responsibility, you can't even commit that one person. Without good communication, your relationship will get through deterioration within a month. And without trust, all the spark will be gone even before the relationship is started. Find a partner who deserves to share your future and worth to spend your time with. For people who are still waiting, don't worry, God has His best plan for us. I wish. Just do your best and keep praying. Always be kind because karma is real. If you break people's heart, the future will break yours even harder. If you didn't want it, just tell the truth. This is the first phase, so no one will go with hope. I guess that's all from us. I'm really sorry if my word is opposite from what it should be, but thank you so much for paying attention. Remember, if you don't like it, just say, I don't like it. Don't wait for the right time, because the right time is always the worst. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. So the right time is always the worst, Nashwa? Alright, question for Atira, Zika and also Nashwa.
Hello, I have a question for Atira.
Alright, Nashwa.
Atira, I want to ask your opinion. Should love always be comfortable, or should it always feel new and exciting? Which of these do you prefer?
Okay, thank you Naswa for the question. In my opinion, I prefer love should always be comfortable. Typically, when someone fall in love, they will feel new and excited at first because it depends on their feelings and emotion for each other. But after years being in a relationship, love will grow out and can make them become more comfortable. Actually, most of the people, when they are in a relationship, they may create their own excitement if they are comfortable with the person they love. But excitement might fade over years or even decades. But feeling comfortable could provide a sense of stability and confidence. So I would say that love does not always have to be exciting, but love is more likely to feel comfortable. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right, Rachel, question for Nashwa, I assume.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right, good afternoon.
Yes, my question will be for Nashwa, sorry. Sure, the part where you say like, we supposed to move on from a relationship, even though like, it's hard, but sometimes, right, like people, they tend to like, even though it's hard, they tend to compromise, they tend to tell themselves that, it's okay, he's going to change or she's going to change, so I can wait for them, things like that. So like, they're trying to manipulate themselves and like, they compromise and then they think that they are going to change and things like that. So like, how do these kind of people like actually move out from this, like, this very toxic relationship?
Okay, thank you, Rachel, for your question. Okay, in my opinion, moving on is not easy. Moving on is not just like our words, like, oh, I will move on. Okay, it's not that easy. Moving on is need with a lot of effort. If people say that moving on is not easy because they still being manipulative with their past, right? But if we want to moving out with our comfort zone, the first thing you should do is to not being comfort. You should know that moving on is taking a risk. Moving on is need something changes. Like some people may say that, okay, I'm moving on, I will change my personality, I will change my hair, I will change the way I'm wearing something to make me being a different person. But it's actually not a real moving on. A real moving on is by thinking that one time, if you're going out from your house, you're not even thinking about that one person already. The one thing the one thing after you wake up that you're already thinking is your own self. What I'm going to do today. It's not about you thinking about others, but you're thinking about yourself. If you still wake up and thinking about what happened to him or something like that, that's mean you're not moving on. If you feel like moving on is taking like a few month period, no, it's not. Moving on is taking years. Depends on that. It depends on person. Some person may take like just a few days, right? Like some person didn't even cry after their first breaking up or what, because they know their worth, maybe. But some people take a very long time to moving on because they know they put a lot of effort in their past. To just move on just like that is like is wasting their time. And that is why if people say that you should move on, you should go out from your comfort zone right now, that guy will not change just for you, but you still trust that, right? But the fact that even if he change, even if he put an effort after that, will you be satisfied with the changes, or will you be like, you know what, I need more than this? You should ask yourself that kind of question, like, even if he change, will he be a good person to you in the future, or will he be the same? You want you to take a risk with the same person, or will be better if you take a risk in a different person? Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
thank you,
you,
Nashwa. Thank you, Nashwa and Rachel. All right, just being curious over here. On average of your, how many years of living right now? 23, 22?
I'm 21.
21, all right. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's say if you are 21 right now, so how many serious relationships have all of you been through? I mean, anyone can answer. I'm not just asking this to Nashwa. how many, I mean, serious in terms of like, you know, serious relationship that you have been through, and how many
One.
breakups? One. Right.
One
Saya
serious and
you
one
said one.
breakup. Okay.
Oh, okay, two. You've been into two, and one serious and one breakup. All right. Anyone else would like to share?
Sir,
Yes.
but what if we are scared to enter a relationship?
All right. Entering a relationship is not like you know, inserting a hard disk or something like that. It's more of, it's not actually of your choice. It's actually of the situation that makes you enter into that relationship. You know, it's an unplanned situation. This is not like marriage, all right? Going into relationship builds up to marriage, but being into a relationship is not actually a choice. Sometimes people just suddenly out of nowhere, out of the blue, ask you, would you like to be in a serious relationship with me? And out of nowhere, you yourself will say yes. So for me, it's an unplanned kind of relationship. I'm just curious because I'm just sharing of my 33 years of living. I've been into 3 serious relationships. The first one got dumped. The second one was quite long, actually 10 years. But then it was a toxic one, like what Nashwa mentioned just now. It was like a very kind of toxic relationship whereby you yourself will think that, okay, this particular girl will change. Eventually she will change, but eventually she didn't change, and eventually I don't know, maybe things gone from bad to worse, and this particular person decided to withdraw herself from this particular relationship and again got down, and now this is the third one, and I already got married, alhamdulillah. So what I just want to say to you is, if you find yourself in a relationship whereby there's no mutual give and take kind of relationship, or you are always the one who is paying, or your partner doesn't want to pay, or your partner always have excuses when it comes to pay. We are not like the Western culture whereby whatever it is that we are doing, all right, let's split it 50-50. Let it be meals, or what you call going to the movies, or going to teapot, something like that. All right, let's split it 50-50. That is the Western culture. They are not, they don't feel ashamed of asking you to pay as well. But here in the Eastern culture, especially with us in Malaysia, it is always that somebody has to show their, if for guys, they're gonna have to be gentlemen, and if for girls, they have to show that they are concerned of their partner. So the way we embed, the way we approach situation or approach our relationship is actually, it does builds up to a certain point where eventually we're gonna know whether our partner does care or doesn't care. Right, enough for sharing. Thank you very much, Najwa, and also Atira Hazika. Very interesting. Yes, Syahira Shamimi.
Sorry, but I have a question. This is
Alright,
open.
yes, please.
Atira and Nashwa can answer it. Both of them.
Okay, no problem.
So I want to ask a universal question. Maybe it's quite relatable with all of us here.
Yes.
So, what if when we are in a relationship, we met in love with each other, but the relationship is not going anywhere, nor future or any specific decision regarding our relationship? I mean, like, what should we do, or should we leave or keep going? That's all. Thank you.
Alright, good question. Alright, anyone would like to respond on that one?
Okay, so
Alright.
okay, thank you, Shaira. That's a good question. So, in my opinion, what you should do is the first thing, maybe you should communicate with him more. The first thing, maybe you should ask him like regarding both of your future, or but if he hasn't taken any action in a month or maybe around that moment, maybe I guess you know what kind of action that you should take. In my opinion, bringing a relationship in marriage or further than that is such a big responsibility. If both of you have a different way to go, then one of you should take a big action to break the nerve. So maybe you should ask yourself first, even if you give him a chance after all of his action, will he be a good spouse to you? Will he be a good parent and a father to your future kids? Will he even put an effort in your future with your family soon? Even after you ask this question to yourself, then I'm sure you would know what kind of option you should choose for your future relationship. People like this are cowardly to move further because I guess that they cannot handle the commitment anymore, especially with you, because they know that you're not at their level. You are out of their league, and you are way much better. Coward to open up a feeling and feeling small beside a person who stays together with you during up and down is the worst. and date this kind of person would be a very nightmare, to be honest. And if this kind of person you want to bring as a marriage partner, I guess a breakup is a good point. Sometimes we might blame fate for making us meet that one person that hurt us by wasting our time. But at one point, you will understand that everything that is happening is not a tragedy. Everything is a matter of learning. Just trust him and his plan, then you will be good, inshallah. I guess that's answering your question. Thank you.
Yes,
Alright,
thank
that's
you.
a good point. Thank you, Shaira and also Nashwa. Alright, a good point that I would like to take from Nashwa is make sure that you know your partner's plan. Yes, it's a very good point, right? Because sometimes if we do not know, if you did ask, alright, what will be your plan of, kalau orang Melayunya kata making me halal lah, kan? What are your plan of, do you have any plans of building a family with me or something like that? Alright, and if your particular partners, regardless of being male or female, alright, whether they has usually this kind of question will be asked to male, right? Because I've been asked this particular question quite a few times, alright. They will lay out their plans to you, but the plans will not be like 1 to 2 years or like next year. Usually, the layout of the plan will be like 5 years, especially during your period right now because you are still studying. So your plan will be the plan that your partner will lay out will be, I think it's 3 to 5 years kind of plan, depending on how to say this. In reality, it's depending on how well established or well prepared. If let's say your partner is from quite a wealthy or good family, maybe they can lay out a plan of 2 to 3 years. But if your partner still needs to take care of his family or something like that, right, the layout of the plan will be, let's say, the least will be 5 years, all right? Because building up a future, all right, building up a family is not an easy task, all right. Love itself doesn't fit you and your family, right? So that's the hard reality that we need to know. This is not this is 2022, right? Whatever you do, although the hard reality will be whatever you do, in a straight manner, I can just say that money is not everything, but without money, you are nothing. I think without money, you cannot establish yourself into a well-balanced relationship whereby you can feed your family and you can still provide. Provide here doesn't mean that you can give them Honda Civic or something like that. Provide is just as if you can manage a good car. Not a good car. A car that can bring your family from point A to point B, bring them to medical care, bring them to have good food or things like that is also enough. It's already enough. All right. If you can get a house to rent first, it's already enough. All right. And if you can provide, all right, basic needs, basic amenities for your family is already enough. All right. It doesn't have to be like just avoid yourself from watching or looking at Facebook postings which are like, okay, I started out my life with nothing. Now I have 5 million. I started my life. All of those things are just imaginative kind of points, all right? If I may say, for example, I'm not sure whether you are related to this particular person, but Datuk Sri Ali Fikri, for example, he's my age, all right? 33 this year, 1989. All right, he said that, okay, sebelum ni saya jual pasal malam, minta loan bank, orang tak beri saya. But he started off as the son of a very famous cosmetic founder. All right, Bonda Rosita. She's a very famous cosmetic founder. Even during my mom's years of buying cosmetic and that, Bonda Rosita has already been there in the system, in the industry. So whatever it is that Ali Shukri has got just today, maybe not financially, all right, but in terms of the skills and also the materials, for example, or maybe the way on how to run the business is already embedded in the family. So nobody started off zero. I don't believe in everybody started off zero, no. Right? Somebody must start off with something, at least a knowledge. Right? At least you started off your life, your relationship with a knowledge to develop yourself into being better. Not to be rich or billionaire or something. Just to be better from yesterday. Alright, okay? Alright, enough of babbling about relationship. Alright, so let's continue with the lessons. This is actually our final lesson of the day. So next week will only be presentation of chapter 12, alright? Okay, so we have already explored the two ships that we have in interpersonal relationship. interpersonal communication, which are friendship and also romantic relationship. Now, we're gonna go deeper into communication in families relationship. Okay. So this is a very simple, straightforward chapter. Oh, sorry, sharing my screen. Okay. Is it visible? Should be, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, communication in families. All right, so there are diversity in family life. We need to know in a global kind of perspective, all right, not just in our Western or Eastern culture or Malay, Indian or Chinese culture or Muslim or Christianity or Hindi or Buddhism kind of culture. In a global diverse family culture, all right, diversity, there are very diversity, there are a very diverse perspective of how we have or run a family. All right, this is just for general knowledge. All right, so there are diverse forms of family. Number one, it can come from marriage. All right, you get a partner. All right, you get married, you build a family. All right, number two, it can also come from cohabitation. All right, whereby couples who cannot marry, all right, or choose not to be married. All right, why? All right, sometimes because they are heterosexual, of course. All right, heterosexual are normal people like us. All right, those who are sexually attracted to people of the opposite sex, or sometimes it can also involve those who are gay or lesbian, kind of cohabitation. So because in some countries, right, gay and lesbian, they can get married, but in some they cannot get married. They are not allowed to get married, and they are not even allowed to immerse themselves in the public. Right, I'm not condemning, but I do hope that none of you are involved in this kind of cohabitation. Okay. All right, so when cohabitation occurs, all right, usually the couples, they choose not to be married or they cannot be married. So they just build a family, all right, get themselves a partner and also get themselves their own kids. And if they cannot bear a baby, all right, they can adopt and also come up with a family as well. This is a global diversity form of family, all right. In family, there are also diverse goals, all right. Sometimes some of the family, their goal is to produce offspring or getting kids or children, all right. Some families, they also want to forge political alliance, right? Link families and seal property transaction. For example, this is the daughter of Megah Holding, the owner of Megah Holding. This is the daughter of Petronas, all right. So let's get them, let's marry, daughter. This is the son of Petronas. So let's match them up, all right? Let them get married, all right? And we can, we can strengthen our co-alliance in political, all right, in business, and also maybe in terms of property transaction, all right? Usually this kind of, the goals of family occurs during the middle age or maybe during the times when not much of a selection or not much of choices were given, all right, for kids or for children. I mean, not small children, for the children themselves to choose their partner, all right? And of course, to get love and also companionship, right? This is because we do want to have people to take care of us during our ups and downs. And of course, we want someone to, inshallah, live with us for the rest of our life, right? And also cultural diversity of family form. Sometimes we do have arranged marriage, all right? We also have mixed marriage, all right? Right now I'm experiencing mixed marriage. So my wife is a Chinese, converted Chinese, right? And we do have polygamy, all right? Sorry. All right, allowed by certain religion and not allowed by certain religion as well, all right? And also child marriage, all right? Sometimes they can be married as young as 6, but not living with the spouse until later. If you watch National Geographic, sometimes child marriage usually occurs in Pakistan, Afghanistan, all right, where they, in order to gain co-alliance, all right, with maybe a wealthy family or a good family, all right, they have decided to marry their kids or their children at a very young age, all right, so that when they have already grown up, all right, the establishment or the co-alliance has already been acknowledged, okay? All right, this is Mary Ann Fitzpatrick relationship types, all right? there are three relationship types coined by Mary Ann Fitzpatrick. Number one, traditional, whereby you will be highly interdependent and emotionally expressive, right? There will be conventional view of marriage and always engage in conflict. Because why? Some of the time, all right, you want to have the things that you want to do, but you are always oppressed by the fact that you have to. For example, if you are in our culture, all right, a ladies must follow, a wife must follow whatever it is set by the husband, for example, all right. This is a very conventional, traditional way, all right, of running a family, all right. And there are also independent kind of relationship whereby being autonomous is moderately high, not that high actually, but it's moderately high, and you will have fewer common interests and activities. All right. Sometimes, all right, you can still make decision on your own, but you have to ask for your spouses or for your partner's opinion as well. All right. And of course, when you have fewer common interests or fewer common activities, for example, for guys, they like to go for fishing, but their wife doesn't like to wait. All right. So tolerance, all right, or tolerant, both partners have to be tolerant in terms of letting one of them to do the things of their interest, right? And in a more diverse and also modern kind of culture, right, they will be totally separated, meaning that it is very highly autonomous, all right? They will share less emotion, and of course, they will try to avoid conflict. So whatever it is you do, as long as you are not cheating to me, then it will be fine. Wherever it is that you're going, as long as you can tell me when you are coming back, then it is fine. So this is a separate kind of relationship. All right, communication and satisfaction in long-term commitments will involve words, all right? Impact in a relationship, how you talk with your partner and how you behave towards each other will influence your partner's self-esteem and feelings about the relationship. If you practice a very good communication, always talk with a very, kind of intimate kind of tone of voice, all right? Talk very slow, try to resolve conflict in a very, distributive kind of manner, all right? So this will involve the emotion and also how your partner is feeling about the relationship. But if the relationship is very toxic, very abusive and things, okay, it will encourage them to withdraw themselves from this relationship, all right? And of course, your thoughts must refer to how partners think about each other and also the marriage, all right? Everything must be in dual perspective. Do not just think of how you are feeling right now, but also think of how your partner is feeling with this particular relationship. And also in terms of emotion, how we feel based on what we say to others and what we communicate to ourselves through self-talk. Imagine, all right, if you are in a very bad mood, all right, if you are very pissed off, for example, with your partners, all right, imagine if you are talking like that to yourself or somebody is talking like that to yourself, right? How will you feel? So this is the same feeling that your partners will also feel, and also the same consequences that will happen in that particular relationship to your partner. If you feel mad that people are cursing you, of course, your partner will also feel mad of you cursing them as well, okay? Conversation orientation, all right, how open or close communication is in your relationship, all right? And also the members of the relationship always feel free to openly express their thoughts and feeling about a range of topics, including ones that are personal or private. Because we are already talking about family relationship right now, right? Usually, or how it should be is nothing is personal sorry, and private anymore. But sometimes, all right, it depends on how we communicate or the way we communicate with our family members. Sometimes if you are in a IU kind of communication, all right, you will tend to have somebody else who are more of towards I-thou communication. For example, your best friends or your siblings, not just your partner, right? Not just your life partner, but sometimes you can be in a I-thou kind of communication with your good friends and also your other siblings, right? You must also always practice conformity orientation, whereby family members are expected to adhere to a family hierarchy and conform in belief. For example, in our culture, right, whatever we do, we will always refer to our moms and also dad, right? And the ultimate relationship will always be depending on our dad. But sometimes dad will always try to pass the ball by saying, all right, If your mom says yes, I'll say yes as well. Right? And then less overt conflict and lines of authority are respected. So there will be less conflict. All right? Less conflict, less open conflict, all right, and also you must always respect, right, the lines of authority. By meaning to say that whatever it is, all right, you must still tell or at least ask, right, the head of the family where you are going, what you are doing, with whom you are doing your activity. Okay, all right. Still in pattern of communication. Okay, when you are having a sensual, right, communication, all right, your conversational orientation will be high, all right, and also conformity orientation will also be high, meaning that, all right, you will be having a lot of conversation and also discussion, all right, and also there will be a lot of things that you can confirm or you can agree together, mutual agreement, right? If you are a pluralistic, all right, kind of person, all right, there will be a lot of conversation, high conversational, but then there will be a bit low conformity, meaning that, all right, it is quite hard to come to a consensus or to a mutual agreement, right? If you are being very protective, all right, there will be very low conversation, not much conversation or discussion happening, but then high conformity, meaning that decision will always be there, and usually the decision will be from the one who are, holding the key of the family. Let's say your father, all right, or your husband, or maybe I'm not being sexist over here, sounding as if the man plays an important role as the head of the family. But if both man and also woman plays the same role, being in a single unit of leading the family, so the children, all right, must always try to obey and also always ask, all right, the mom and also dad in whatever it is they about to do, right? And also we have over here, if I am pronouncing it right, is in French actually, laissez-faire, all right, laissez-faire is a French term, all right, meaning that laissez-faire is a French term indicating allowing to do or letting people to do something, all right? You will have low conversation and also low conformity, right? Meaning that most of the time you will not be asking for opinions or for agreements, for whether your family acknowledge it or not. Most of the time, whatever it is, action comes first. All right, and maybe after that you will discuss, or maybe you will just for the sake of telling. All right, for the sake of telling the leader of the family, be it your mom and also your dad. Okay. All right. So this is the family life cycle. All right, you started off with establishing a family. All right, let's just go into the explanation. All right, establishing a family whereby young couples. You are a young couple without children yet, right? Maybe you are married, maybe you are still not married, all right? Then going into enlarging a family, right? Families with infant or preschoolers. So, of course, in our culture, you are already married in this particular stage, all right? And you have already produced your own offspring, all right? And then in stage 3, all right, you develop your family, all right? So you're going to have children going into elementary or high school, primary or secondary school. In stage 4, all right, you will encourage independence, whereby family with adolescents who are developing, all right, you're gonna have kids or our own children who are developing their own interests usually, all right, they're gonna be in the teenage years of their life, all right, so they have their own interests, their own activities, and also their own social circles not influenced by us, all right. Stage 5, all right, is the stage where you are launching your children, families who are launching children into the world, sending them to universities, sending them to work, right? Sending them to get their own partner or build their own family. Post-launching of children, couples after all children have already left home and the couple is once again the primary unit. So before this, right, you have other people, or in other terms, your children staying in the home. Right now, there's no more children staying with you, all right? You have already launched them, all right, into the real world, and you are now again a primary unit with your partner. And stage 7, retirement, whereby couples have full time of just not doing anything, or in simpler words, full-time work is no longer a part of their life. So these are the 7 stages of family life cycle. Okay, social media and family communication. All right, social media help you to increase the level of interaction between family members, especially right when you are not staying in the same place or you are staying elsewhere, whereby distance is an issue. Right, so you're gonna have Nowadays, we have a WhatsApp group, family WhatsApp groups, okay? Increase opportunity to stay in touch with family and friends, all right? Increase opportunity for parents to track their children, all right? Increase contact when children leave home, and also increase social support beyond family and also friends, okay? All right. So how you effectively communicate in families? All right. Maintain equity in family relationship. All right. Equity here means that always have fairness based on the perception that both people invest equally in the relationship and benefit similarly from their investment, especially involving couples. All right. All right. In the social exchange theory, all right, people they apply economic principle to evaluate their relationship. All right, meaning that they conduct cost benefit analysis. All right, for example, a relationship will cost you time, will cost you effort, will cost you some money as well. All right, but then you are also hoping for rewards from that particular transaction, whereby these rewards are desirable elements that comes from being in a relationship. For example, you may value the companionship, right, support and affection that comes from a relationship. And also we have the equity theory, whereby fairness based on the perception that both people invest equally in a relationship and benefit similarly from their investment. All right, for lunch, I'm gonna pay for you. For dinner, all right, you will treat me for dinner. All right, for tomorrow's breakfast, I'm gonna treat you again, and for lunch, all right, is on your treat again, for example. All right, so equity theory tells that there must be fairness, all right, in terms of you running the relationship. Okay. Right, so make daily choices that enhance intimacy. Right, meaning that please be aware of the choices that you are making every day, especially all right when it comes to things like, for example, where to eat, what to do after this, all right, what to have for dinner, for example. All right, be fair and always be in a dual perspective. Show respect and consideration, and always do not sweat the small stuff. All right, do not. If your spouse is asking you for 10 ringgit, do not ask, hey, I lent you 10 ringgit just this morning. Can you give me back my 10 ringgit? Do not sweat all the small stuff with your partner and also your family members. All right. Okay. All right. I think that's all for today's lecture. Right. Very simple one. So the lecture note will be embedded in your eCampus. All right. Stop presenting. All right, so next week, all right, this is already the final topic. So next week, we're going to go through only the presentation from the final groups, all right, which will be presenting on chapter 12 and also preparation or a bit of briefing on your final exam or your final assessment. Okay, and for those who haven't submitted your second assignment, please do so as soon as possible. All right, okay. All right, and please submit your second assignment in your respective T1 or T2 eCampus. All right, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience that have been caused by the system, because when they come up with the eCampuses, all right, they have to divide it to lecture and also both tutorials. All right, and I have to fill up the 3 eCampuses with content as well. That's why whatever it is that you are having in T1 or T2 will be there in L1 as well, but yet L1 is only for the sake of being there. Right? Whatever it is that we are doing, always refer to T1 or T2 eCampuses for my classes. All right, whatever subjects that you are taking with me, that will be my style of managing our eCampuses. Okay. All right. Any question? Any more would like to? Yes, please. Hanan.
Can you share back the QR code?
Oh, okay. All right. I'll be showing you the QR code again for those who have just joined. All right. And for those who got nothing else to say, all right. All right. You may leave the session. Okay. I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be showing you again the QR code. All right. The rest of you, if you have scanned, thank you very much. And I'll see you again next week for our final class. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and have a very good day, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm sharing my screen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you, sir. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day as well.
Thank you, sir.
Right, wait, yeah, I'm gonna share my screen for the QR code. So this is for L1. QR code. Okay. All right, showing now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, most welcome.
Sir, T2 ada scan code ke? Tak ada
Itu tadi I've asked you to
PTG je
go
kan?
through e-campus PTG je.
Alright, thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. All right, most welcome. Okay, bye bye. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.